Outsides is what we do. No guidebooks here, just do it bold. Legends are made in grease and gold. It's more than cars, it's heart and soul. Creating drive that takes control. Let's break the mold, stretch the land, chasing the thrill with tools in hand. Welcome to Redskin Garage today, where the sparks fly and tools play. With every twist, turn and grind, you'll find a dreamer's state of mind.
Rest in peace, pennies. What's cracking in Chrome Domes? Just thought I'd get a quick video out on my favorite products of the season. Technology connections, I hope you're watching. Hand warmers. You know how it is when you go down the YouTube rabbit hole and look for all the videos and all the information you can find. I'll bring it all together in one video here. Ultimate hand warmers guide. I'm telling you right now, if you use these, you will get burned. Don't even try to come at me with some, oh, he told me to do this and that and then I got burned because of it. No, I'm telling you right now, you will go ahead and get burned 100%. So do it at your own expense. Honestly, without a doubt, 100% you're going to get burned if you do what I told. If you do any of the suggestions in here in order to make these hotter and last longer and this and that and this and that and this and that. Do it at your own risk. Don't credit me for your not listening. Okay, these are incredibly hot. Disclaimer. They will burn you. Blisters. Seriously, they will really, truly hurt you. Even without any of my input, they can still burn you. Just from the factory, the crappy little catalyst they give you in here will light a cigarette. It is basically on fire in your pocket. Take my warning seriously. You will be burned. Listen to me before you use this. You will be burned. 100%. You will get burned. It's gonna burn you. So I'm telling you now, it will burn you before you even go out and buy one. And if anything I may have suggested, you will be burned. That is a warning. One way or another, chemical or physical, you will be burned if you use these. Period. Blank. Point blank. Period. These will burn you. Do not sleep with these. These come with warnings for a reason. 100%. So just take that for what you will. Use extreme caution if you decide to take my advice with these and hot rod them. I'm gonna try and tag some of my favorite YouTubers, my buddies and stuff. Super cool. I learned a lot about it off of technology connections. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So if you've ever been to Walmart, looking in the camera section, trying to keep your hands and your feet warm, well, I got something for you. So I hope you guys don't mind. Trying to keep you guys warm, give you some tips and stuff, man. There was one time that I had a valet job. I actually got to drive people's cars and park them. Oh yeah, and then when they come back with a little ticket, I get the key out of the cabinet and go and get the car. And well, do it on start. Unfortunate circumstances. I had to ride a motorcycle all the way to work. About a 20-minute ride. Also had to be winter. Oh boy, that was a lot of fun. I even bought a car that I really didn't get to use at the job. But I bought the car because I had the job. Car's gone now, so I got to look around, trying to find anything that would keep me warm riding a motorcycle in the dead of winter. I don't have a seat warmer or handlebar warmers. I know you can get them. I didn't feel like installing nothing. Plus, it's not like I'm riding the whole time anyway. And part of the job was to stand outside. And it was third shift, so nighttime in the winter, I had a hospital waiting on people to have babies. That's a cold job. Just standing there. That's about like fueling. Yep. It's about like a fueling job. Only they really didn't want you to sit inside or anything. So this right here, I had actually spotted this in Walmart one time. And this was about 10 years ago, which explains how this looks. It's nothing wrong with it, but it's like a gel, as you can see. It used to be more of a liquid, and now it's turned into gel. This thing is 10 years old. This is really old. So this is a hand warmer that you can boil and reuse. What this is a special liquid inside that freezes and gets hot. It's hot ice if you've ever seen the challenge. But it's in a package. And apparently, this stuff is reusable. You can boil it, get it hot enough to melt it back down from ice. You melt the ice, melt the hot ice once it's cool, and you can boil it, turn it back into liquid, and it will stay liquid until you click this little clicker thing in here. So if you can see that, it's a little piece of metal. It's shaped like a penny, like a flattened penny that you get at, you ever roll out pennies at the Smoky Mountains or something? You know, when you go to the zoo or wherever, the gym mines and stuff, you can flatten pennies in the roller. Rest in peace, pennies. They could have, I'll go off on the subject, they could have stamped holes into the pennies. They could have also made the penny smaller. Not only that, but they could have turned the penny into a dollar bill and made it cheaper to produce a penny. But what's the cheapest of all is to get rid of it altogether. So I guess that's what they did. Unfortunately, it would have been nice to see a new form of currency, a new currency in my lifetime. I know we've had the dollar bills, the $100 bills and everything since the 2000s and all that, but at any rate, this is also banana shaped, the little penny clicker. And so it's like one of those pop-up toys, the little, it looks like a half of a rubber ball, but it's hollow inside, and you turn it inside out, and you set it on the ground, and it pops way up in the air, and goes, pew! Yeah, so you just play with it to kids. Well, it's like that, except it's made out of metal. It's just bent, however so, that you can click it, like a clicker. If you click it, it sublimates, or, I'm trying to sound smart here, it gives it a nucleation site to go off of, and it will instantly freeze the liquid inside here. It's like when you get a bottle of water to X amount of degrees, it's like 32 degrees, and it's at freezing, but because it's steel and motionless, it has no nucleation site to start off of, which means a seed crystal. It has to be just something to go off of, to have a starting point, basically. If you've ever put a bottle of water in the freezer and pulled it out at just the right time, it's at its freezing temperature but hasn't frozen yet. And so when you smack it, It instantly freezes. It's so cool. It is awesome if you've never seen it. It is the coolest thing. This is a used one. It's nice and cold now. It's used up. Go ahead and get my water started. Now I got some water on the boil. I'll show you how to reuse these. So here's a used one. The nice thing about these are that they're dry. They're also reusable without any source of input other than heat. So however you gotta heat it up, heat it up. And make sure you melt every last crystal and it will be reusable. Trust me, you want to see around, these are really cool. Another thing I like about these is they are dry. They don't use any fuel other than the initial input to heat them up and get them to melt to be used initially. Another thing I like is that when you do heat them up, they're already hot. So you can go ahead and stick them in your pocket and they'll be warm, right? So it's twice usable out of one heating, out of one reuse. Okay, these are portable. They're also flat packable. That's really nice. They don't have to be used until you're ready to use them. And obviously, they last a good long time. This is 10 years old. I thought it was bad, but no, it's actually even better than what it used to be. And the reason for that is because of what it's made of. This gel in here is apparently baking soda and vinegar. So what you do, I looked this up, understand the process. If you took water and poured salt in it and mixed it up, the salt will dissolve. So eventually, if you keep pouring salt in there, the water can no longer hold any more salt. It can't dissolve anymore. Literally will not dissolve any more salt. And I've looked this up, and I've tried it. It's actually true. Get a small vial and mix, or even just a jar, and start dumping salt in it and mix it up. Just a little salt at a time. You'll see it dissolve, and just a tablespoon at a time. You'll see that tablespoon dissolve. Eventually, there won't be any more available room to hold salt in the water. It will be completely saturated with salt. At that point, once the water can no longer hold any more salt, the salt won't dissolve. You'll keep dumping salt into the water, but it literally won't dissolve. It'll just sit in the bottom and will never dissolve unless you heat the water up. Then it will hold more salt. So somehow, they managed to basically use vinegar and dissolve baking soda into it, and it creates some sort of substance that just happens to be a freezing point that is higher. It's strange. Once you get so much salt in the water, it will hold it at that temperature. It will hold that amount of salt at that temperature. Once you cool it down, the salt will fall out of suspension naturally. If there's other salt particles in there, like I said, a nucleation point to start off of, somewhere for it to grow. And it's something like that. I'm not even going to pretend to be a scientist or anything. But anyways, somehow it's relatively stable unless you have a nucleation point. Just look him up, man. It's a really cool YouTube channel. You got to check him out. I've been to watch his videos, man. He's got some really good content about these in particular, and hopefully he will make a video with these. If you're watching, what's up, TC? I came back home, looked them up, and I thought, oh, I remember that. I'd actually seen these when I was younger. They make a larger, big shoulder pack version of this to heat your shoulder and your neck up, and it's pretty nice, actually. I think my mom had one, and my aunt had one, and we got them from walking around the mall. You know, the kiosks, people will bombard you. Yeah, hey, come buy our stuff. Yeah, well, we was at the mall and sold. It is super cool. Here's the clicker. Oh, another cool thing about this is this has the instructions on the back. These are really cool, man. What these are made of is basically, I think that is probably what happened. Maybe somehow some of the water from the vinegar came out and it made it different. You know what I mean? Like this has a different freezing point than what it originally had when it was new. It's like the water evaporated from it and left more of one substance than the other, which changed its ratios, and now, but it still works, man. 10 years old. I have had these go off in my pocket when I didn't want them to. So kind of sort of fragile. Like I said, they're basically stable, but just barely. And they're supposed to be stable enough to walk around with them. They sell them in the camping section, or you can get them on Amazon, the jungle site. Anyways, just click them back and forth. Oh, you can see there it goes. Look at it. That is so cool. Look at that. It's like freezing. But now it's hot. It's hot. And so what you're supposed to do is just sit here and knead it. Knead it back and forth. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Yes, sir. There it goes. Man, that sucker. I'll take a second up. Yeah. Apparently, if you insulate it, it'll last longer. And I find, if you sit there and mash that button, man, that sucker gets hot. It seems like it. Because you see how it's like liquefied? Because it got all warm. I mean, it is hot. Just about. It is really warm. I mean, yeah, that's a hand warmer. Sit there and knead it back and forth. And warm your hands up. So you knead it back and forth until you just don't want any more heat, or until it completely cools off. And yeah, that's hot. Yeah. So if you're careful with them, take them where you want to go. Stick them in your pocket, or until you're ready to use them. You're like, oh man, my hands are so daggone cold. I'm going to warm them up real quick. And it is basically instant. Like there is no wait time. There is 0 wait time on this to heat up. I mean, it is. It is hot. That's nice, man. And you'll sit here and it gets different. You can't knead them up no more. You sit there rolling around in your pocket. All right. So once he's all used up, eventually it'll look like this. So what you want to do with him, take him on over here to the boiler, drop him in. And it'll go ahead and reset, because it's hot, but it ain't boiling hot. So, yep, just let him sit in there. You kind of get your fork and come in here and mix them up. Yep, like you see, said, cooking a weird egg. Yeah, go ahead and you can boil them as soon as you want to boil them. Turn right back. As long as you get hotter than that freezing point, they'll reset. You gotta make sure all the crystals is boiled. And have none left. And that's how you do that. I'll let them sit there and finish up, and I'll turn them off here in a little bit. So that's that one. They're really nice. I love those things, but they are pretty energy intensive, to boil water and reset them. However, depending on what scenarios you might be in, campfire doesn't cost. All you have to do is get the wood and boil your hand warmers. And they're infinitely reusable like that. So, these use fuel, and these aren't reusable at all. So they're spent. These I have very much experience with. I found these and I've been saving them. The thing I like about these is these are even more flat and packable. So you can stack and stack and stack, and apparently they last a pretty good amount of while. The boilable ones. Oh, what I was going to say about the boilable ones. Energy intensive, unless depending on your scenario. And what if the induction heaters, the induction stovetop, what if that's less energy intensive? You know, I thought about that for technology connections. I wonder. Anyways, these are single use, unfortunately. Apparently they last a pretty good amount of time. And they are flat and packable, man. They're also vacuum sealed. I imagine this will last indefinitely. I don't see why this could go bad if it's completely vacuum sealed. You know? Yeah. So there's that. The thing I don't like about these is the chemicals are made of. There's nothing wrong with the chemicals. It's just that chemical process that this takes. Look at how these work. These are really cool. It's pretty much the same thing as an MRE heater. However, as a hand and foot warmer, as a body warmer, as something to put in your clothes, they put off a small amount of steam. So putting a foot warmer in a snow shoe or boot, or even a water boot, that just seems like bad news. However, if you're cold, you're cold. I mean, they're flat and packable. The packages that come in seem okay. However, they're single use, once and disposable, and the things inside of them are relatively safe. So there's no toxins or anything like that. It's just rust and some other things. It's good to have on hand if you need them. Moving on. The Zippo hand warmers. So just turn them off, put the lid on. Well, that's what I like to do. Make sure they cool slowly. My favorite type of hand warmer are these Zippo style hand warmers. I was in the camping section, I did see this. I think it was like $20 or something, so I decided against it, and I was like, well, you know, and then I got to refill it with Zippo fluid, and I was like, nah, I know how it is to own a Zippo, you know. But then later on, I was like, well, you know, as a kid, I used to sit here and flick these things, and flick them, and flick them, and flick them, and flick them. This is a Zippo Mini. If you've ever done that, you'll notice that these can get pretty warm, pretty hot even. You know, just as in itself, if you struck this and held the cap over the flame to warm the cap up, or tilt it to its side so it warms this up, you know, that can be pretty, fuel consumption on that would be ridiculous. You know how it is, if you've ever owned one, anyways. But they will get pretty warm, and then you can put that in your pocket and hold on to it, and I mean, it will warm your hands up. So, think about that. The thing about these is it doesn't stay warm for very long. The heat is instant and it's hot, but it's not long lasting. You would need several of them to really get you through several hours of brutal cold and nothing else. You can use them to get you a fire started, but you better be boiling them again so you can get some more wood in the morning, because you're going to be cold. Zippo hand warmer, you know, if you struck this all day, it might last you a day or two. And you would use up a lot of fuel. So I got to think about that, you know. I was getting ready to. I have several Zippos, so look forward to a collection video soon. Anyways, I had thought about it. What if I just go get some Zippo fluid and a few Zippos? Keep my hands warm, you know. I sit there and light them while I'm sitting there waiting on cars to valet. And I was like, man, but that's gonna kill me on fluid. And then I got to looking. I was like, you know what? I was thinking about, I had seen these in Walmart. I was like, well, instead of just keep striking it, if I'm gonna, you know, I might as well go ahead and try it out. I wonder what all this is about, anyways. So I got on YouTube and started looking these things up, and I found quite a few good informative videos. Which, by the way, the electric ones, I just don't like batteries in my pocket. Not anything that gets hot. Like a battery shouldn't be getting hot, you know what I mean? It just don't seem right. It don't seem very safe. This is like, well, if you've ever lit Zippo fluid on fire, that can be a bad time too. If I'm not mistaken, this is also white gas, like for camping fuel. Anyways, I'll get more to alternative fuels for these like in a minute, if you haven't already gathered. So I got on the old tube and started looking them up. People love them. People love these things. Unfortunately, you know, you buy one, and sometimes you go to the store and they only have one color, and you didn't know certain ones existed, and blah 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 blah, and now you have a bunch. They are fantastic, man. These are awesome. These are really cool. These are my coolest, my favorite hand warmers by far. These are what saved me on motorcycle rides. So, technology connections. I hope you're watching. What this is, pretty sure you already knew about these. Depends on your climate, I reckon. So what this is on top here is a platinum catalyst. It's a platinum catalyst fibrous material. They string it out like rock wool and then attach. This is like fiberglass, but I'm pretty sure it's rock wool with platinum and other things in it. So you open these up. I'm about to tell you all about some modifications. You open these up, and what Zippo wants you to do, I'm not sure if you can see that, it says Zippo right there on the cap, on this catalyst cap. See if I can get you a shot of the underside here. So Zippo has taken these little fibers and flattened and smashed them out. And what they send you from the factory is like this teeny little bitty pad worth of catalyst material. A teensy itsy bitty little bitty, itty bitty teeny little bitty. It's a joke. It works okay, man. Just for a hand warmer, you know, they do vent really well. I'll give them that, but it don't last long enough. And so eventually the platinum in these will burn up. It'll this poofy fibrous material, the catalyst, will be used up eventually. And they want you to buy new caps and just replace the old cap. I mean, these caps are like $5. It's gonna the amount of catalyst they give you is like enough to last about a week, maybe, just in your pocket. So first thing you want to do if you buy one of these, go ahead to there it is, advancedcatalyst.com. Go there. That's where you get them. And you can, I think this bag was $20. So for 4 of these, to buy 4 caps, it would cost you $20. And you would only get like 4 of these little puff balls, basically. And for $20, you can go on Catalyst, what did it say? AdvancedCatalyst.com and order Platinum Bright Embers. And so what this is, for vented gas logs, let's see. Yes, fireplaces. So you're supposed to put this in a gas fireplace. And this is supposed to capture any extra gas that may have not been completely combusted. And it's supposed to twinkle and be pretty. Okay. That's what it is. It's the same thing. It's just a platinum catalyst. Be careful handling this, I hear. I hear you would like to preferably have a mask. Cautionary handling. Okay? Just be aware of dust and particles. Apparently you don't want to breathe this in. It probably is like rock wool, and you won't want to breathe that in either. So, yeah. And it's not much for a bag of twinkle, but when you use it for this, it'll be just fine. I mean, it's well worth it. I've replaced all of these with one bag. It came with more than that. And I've replaced all of these. I barely put it in that bag. Because when you pull it out, it fluffs up. So, when you go to buy these, go ahead to the jungle site and pick out whichever one you want. You'll have the biggest selection there, I'm sure. I can go ahead and tell you, the chrome ones are the hottest. They are by far hotter to the touch than any of the others. For whatever reason, buy the chrome ones. If you want something less hot, get one painted. They have all different colors. They got all different colors and designs and things you can put on them. But they're going to be in a little pouch. If you put the platinum bright embers in here, they'll be so hot you'll never take it out of that pouch. And nobody will ever see it except you when you fill it up. These last, from the factory, this is supposed to last 12 hours. It will do that. It will get 11 to 12 or maybe even 13 hours of runtime. And it will get pretty warm from the factory. When you put these platinum bright embers in here and have a bunch of catalyst in there, don't stuff it. It's got to be able to breathe. But it's way more than what comes from the factory. When you put the platinum bright embers in there, it will be so daggone hot, you'll want to take it out of your pocket. You'll open it up and you'll see it glowing. It will be glowing hot in your pocket. You will want to have the little pouch that comes with them. And the more you insulate these, the hotter they get, seemingly. I'll show you my winter get up here in a little bit. And I had one of these wrapped in a tube sock, so it was wrapped about 5 or 6 times. I had on my overalls, a sweater under it, a sweater over that, a jacket over that. This thing was well insulated. I had it in my pocket, 2 of them. One of them burned me because I guess it must be breathing more better than the other one. If you pack it too tight, it won't breathe right. And anyways, I had a shirt on and a long john shirt on under that, and probably had a white beater on under that. I get pretty cold, and it burned me. It burnt me still with all that insulation. It still managed to burn me. That's how hot these things get. They will burn you if you're not careful. If you put these in your pocket and you go to work, the more you move, the more air gets introduced into them. And the slow air that gets squeezed in through the little pouch and everything through your pocket, and the small wind movement, it adds up. And when you put these in your pocket, they become even warmer. That's another thing. Is how to turn them off. I'll get to that here in a minute too. So, believe it or not, they have burned me several times. As a matter of fact, they will melt plastic bottles. Not melt them. I haven't seen it melt a hole in it. I'm sure it would. You can light a cigarette off of this. You can light a cigarette off of just what the catalyst that Zippo gives you. Okay? So, once these things get going, it's like a diesel runaway. Once it starts, they get hotter and hotter and hotter. And the hotter it gets, the hotter the fuel inside gets, which makes it evaporate faster, which makes it plume into the catalyst faster, which makes it get even hotter because it's got more fuel. How do you turn them off? There's a few ways. You can starve it of oxygen, put it in a bag, a plastic bag. I've seen people do that. I don't know, man. Depends on how hot it is to begin with. Secondly, you can turn them upside down. Just depends on how much fuel you have. Think of the fuel as a liquid, think of the fuel as an oil. The hotter it gets, the more liquidy it becomes, the more thin the oil becomes. So, and all this holding the liquid in here is a cotton ball, okay? See if I can get you a good shot of that. See the cotton ball behind the screen in there? This was personally modified by yours truly. So, the deal with these. How to turn them off? You can suffocate them by putting them in a bag or turning them upside down. If you turn it upside down, the vapors rise. If the vapors rise, the rest of the fluid comes to the bottom. Be careful turning this upside down. If it's full and in your pocket and it's warm, it will be more liquidy inside of that cotton ball than it was to begin with cold. Okay? And it may drip out in your pocket, turning it upside down. But if the vapors can't reach the catalyst, it should go out. So another downside is that you have to keep these upright in your pocket. Preferably. I've had them tip sideways and be like that for a while, you know. Either way, try not to turn them upside down. Lastly, you can cold shock these and it will go out. If you take this out and it's freezing cold, and it may go out, it may not, I don't know. But you can cold shock them. I wouldn't put this in the freezer, in your home freezer, because if it doesn't go out, well, now you've got a heater in your freezer and that's not going to help your energy. Preferably. Based on what I'm about to tell you about alternative fuels, I would fill this up and let it do a thing. Just consider it a loss. You're either going to keep it in your pocket, keep warm with it until you're done, or you just let, you know, or it'll just be a waste, and it'll just be a waste. It'll burn up, so what? Not preferable method. Just let it run out. But only if you're not too worried about the cost of fuel. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you, this is the most expensive option. It's not the only option. I wouldn't consider this an option, period, and have never considered it an option, period, for these. If you have money, and you need to be in somewhere, a very special place, where you don't want odor, use this in a clean. This is the best option. Not for your wallet, but for fancy. It is cleaner burning. It will be less odorful. It will have less odor. If you have used this or this, and you want a day where you have less odor and decide to use this, it will not work. Once you have used this or this, this will be tainted with odor. If you're going to use this, be sure you use only this. Otherwise, you will be complaining about odor. Or you're going to smell it. It'll basically, yeah. Getting to that. Ronson. This thing's pretty bad. It's not the worst thing. If you don't like the smell of Zippo fluid, you're SOL. This ain't so bad. This will still cost you. These are not cheap to run. It's like $75 a fill up. I mean, 75 cents a fill up, which isn't, it's not the worst thing. But it's, and that's with this, okay? It's not the worst thing. if I'm not mistaken. It was like 50 to 75 cent fill up, which is really good for what I'm about to tell you. Anyways, for the amount of hours that you get in return for that 50 cent. This stinks. This is your cheapest option. This is the go-to option for me when it comes to these, only because of cost. It's like 20 bucks for this whole entire gallon. Go to Tractor Supply. I hear that you can get this at Lowe's, Home Depot, and sometimes Walmart, but I looked and I could not find it. I found it at Tractor Supply. I bought it at Tractor Supply. It was only $20 or $25. These are like $10 a piece a bottle. This is like $5 a bottle. This was $20 a gallon. I obviously went with a gallon. Here, let me show you the size. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot more. The lids pop off of this, and if you get you a funnel that fits, you can just use a flashlight, which is what I do, and shine the flashlight through the bottle and fill it up that way. Then you can just have a refill of the bottle. Pros and cons. Pros. This is dry. It will dry your clothes out. It's a dry heat. It's like a flame in your pocket. It's not a butane flame, which I hear may create moisture, honestly. I wouldn't want that either, but... Pros, this is dry. These are dry heat. Cons, this will choke you to death. This is the worst smelling. If you have all these in your pocket, this will about choke you to death. It's pretty bad. Another con is, depending on scenarios and situations, this may not last forever. You know, it'll last you a good long time. What I've got set up here is about enough for 2 people in some pretty brutal temperatures, depending on your clothing setup. 1 person for brutal temperatures, with a poor clothing setup, meaning just nothing. I feel like this would get you pretty far along in some pretty tough conditions. You can also put these out just by drowning them in water, but don't do that, obviously. Don't do that. Which means don't get it wet. You know, I wouldn't get them rained on. However, if you were a little damp, it'd probably dry you out. So that's another plus. You know, another con is don't take them out. Like I said, you can cold shock these. If you take them out of this little packages, their sleeve, in some pretty brutal cold, it might go out on you. Especially if it hasn't got hot enough to start running away yet. So the hotter this gets, the faster it evaporates. The faster it evaporates, the more fuel is used. So when this starts to empty, and it's also hot, it creates like a steam from every fiber of the cotton that's inside of it, and it really starts to run away and take off. It will blow red hot on you if you're not careful. But yeah, so cons, don't take them out. You can feel them get kind of cold, even if you just take it out of your pocket and into cold air. So meaning not even taking the sleeve, the fabric sleeve off of it, you can get them too cold. Now they need air, they need oxygen. So the more oxygen you give them, the hotter they'll get. So if I pull this thing and open him up here, right, and open him up just a little bit and have him like this in my pocket, now more air gets in there. But as long as it's in your pocket and insulated, it will stay lit. It should stay lit. Now just yeah, they can tip over and stuff. Be careful how much you let this slack. You know, be careful how much you let this slack. So yeah, be careful how much slack you let that have, because if that falls out in your pocket, it could start to run away on you. It could also leak fluid in your pocket, and if you get naphtha on your skin, leave it on there long enough, it will burn you. It will. If you've ever overfilled a Zippo lighter, you'll know that. I would like to try one of them electronic jackets where you can just put a battery in your pocket, so the jacket's heated, not the battery. You know, I know that the electronic hand warmers, the rechargeables, those aren't heating the battery, but still, it's too close for comfort, for my comfort. Pros and cons, further elaboration. Pros, this lasts a long time. 11 to 12 hours for the big ones. This is probably even longer. But the Zippo branded ones, 12 hours posted for the big ones. Sometimes you get longer, sometimes you get less. It depends on how hot these get, is really what determines how long it will last. And also on your measurements. 6 to 8 hours for the small ones. And that's pretty accurate. Like I said, the chrome ones get the hottest by far, in my experience. And the only experience I have with painted ones are these black ones. And I got that, so, you know, I feel like black traps heat. So even if they weren't going to be quite so hot, they would still be at least the next hottest thing. So I got thinking, okay, improvements, huh? Improvements. So I don't know if you really get into Zippos. I love them. I love me a Zippo lighter. Okay. The worst thing I hate about them is evaporation. I know there's rubber bands and ways to fix it. Who wants to do all this when you just want to pull it out and get a light, man? I love me a good Zippo lighter. You can use these with gasoline. Like, you can take this, open this up, right? Take this insert out. See, just in case you've never seen a Zippo lighter, you take this insert right here out, tie you a string around through this hole, right? And drop this into a gas tank, right? And then just let it sit there for a while. Like, even if you got no way to siphon to get the gas out, you can drop this and soak it in the gas tank. Pull it back out, shake it out some. It's gonna be way too full, but let it dry off some. Let the wheel dry off, and you can strike it in the light. It'll come up through the wick here. So how this works is like a candle, only with naphtha. So if your candle melts, your melted wax is your fuel. It travels up the wick and evaporates through the flame. And once it evaporates, the flame catches it and burns the evaporated fuel. The same thing with this, only it's like a liquid candle. Remember, paraffin wax is also a petroleum product. Okay, it's also a petroleum distillate. Beeswax is different, but anyways, how these work is, if you've never seen Zippo, you take this fuel right here and you squirt it into. You're supposed to lift this thing up. I never do. I always just saturate the whole pad. Just keep squirting it in there until it fills up. You only use X amount. But anyways, if you've ever looked into Zippos very much and you have a fetish with them, you've looked into different ways of packing the material, the cotton in the bottom. So, Zippo lighters, Zippo hand warmers. Cotton, naphtha. That's all it is. And a way to evaporate fuel, which means heat or a wick. And all naphtha is basically purified gasoline. There's nothing else in it. It's what gas is before it becomes gasoline. And if I'm not mistaken, it's Coleman's white gas camp fuel. It's the same thing. If I'm not mistaken, it's like unleaded, untreated, unfiltered gasoline, or something. It's a petroleum product for sure. If you've ever vaped, tobacco vapes, if you've ever built your own coils, if you've ever replaced your own wick, people who like to modify things and do things their own way, twist things around, and really get into weeds about stuff, you know. So you'll obviously end up looking online and you'll find out that, okay, it's just organic cotton. You put the cotton through through the micron wire or whatever type of wire you have twisted up, and it wicks the juice up to the coil, and the coil gets hot, and you vape it. And you think, why in the world would you pay $5 or more for a teensy little bag of cotton? A teeny weeny, look at this little bag of cotton. You've got 0.35 ounces cotton wicking material. It is just 100% cotton. Organic, I don't know. For my purpose, it wouldn't have to be. But for vaping, it probably should be. Now, there are different ones. Point I'm trying to make is, this is a purpose-built cotton. This is actually legitimate. This will hold more vape juice than regular organic cotton balls, unrolled and twisted up and fed through a coil for vaping purposes. It will absolutely hold more. It's like the Bounty towels or the ShamWow. It just keep holding more. That's the purpose of this. It's also laid out in strings, like in a row. Like they're not jumbled up nearly as much as cotton balls. Like they're all in a line, so that way it wicks better. It's a better wick than a cotton ball. It's a purpose-built wicking material, cotton wicking material. So yes, this is real cotton bacon. It's a real thing. It really matters. It actually holds more in your vaping purposes. So this is not the only wicking material available. This is good enough for my purposes because it's better than cotton balls. I will say though that even cotton balls will be better than modifying this with nothing. Even modifying these with nothing would be better than not modifying them at all. So you can modify these Zippo hand warmers to be better than they are from the factory. First off, if you've ever unpacked a Zippo, you'll know how poorly they come packed sometimes. If you really have a preference, and you should, because even if you don't, you can use organic cotton or cotton bacon in the Zippos as well. That's what I originally went and bought these for. And it's high, but you don't really have to replace it nearly as much as you would for vaping purposes. So since this comes in strings, you can lay this out in a certain way, in a certain pattern that will hold more, and it will hold more fluid. It won't leak out nearly as much. The fluid will last longer, and it will wick better, which means you'll get a better flame, which means you'll have to pull that wick down some, which means you'll use less wick, which saves you more. You get the same size flame because you pulled the wick down, which you'll use the same amount of fuel. Which counterintuitively, if you have more fuel in here and it lasts longer, you're evaporating more, which is wasting more. So I mean, tit for tat. My preference for a lighter is these clippers. First off, these are refillable. Butane refillables. I'll do a whole other video on these, but you can also replace the flints. So more or less, and it's a soft flame lighter with a flint. That is refillable. Now think about that. It's also plastic and cheap. So if you lose it, big deal, right? Okay. So if you lose this, you're gonna lose your mind trying to find that thing. You lose this, $1 to get you another one. Okay. Anyways, this is my personal preference for a flame source. These are wasteful at this point. It's 2025. These are jewelry to me. They are nice to have if you can afford the fluid. They don't really stink too bad, and they're nice. I mean, if you got somewhere to be, yeah, a nice suit and tie type of thing. The wick comes all jumbled up. So if you take it out and take all the cotton out and undo it and zigzag it all the way to the bottom, then you'll know that when it runs out, you've gotten all the fluid because it all went up the wick. Also, you can't just have the wick on one thickness of the lighter, like on one side. You can't have it all the way touching the metal on this side, or it won't wick properly from this side. It will, but preferably you want it directly down the center. You want the wick directly down the center. So repacking these is basically a must from the factories. You can repack them with the cotton that comes in them. It's really rayon at this point. It's no longer cotton. It's like plastic cotton, basically. You're going to do the little cotton balls that it comes with, and that in itself will be an improvement over how it is from the factory. Reroute that wick, and you'll be good to go. I'll go further into Zippo lighters on my later episode. I'll do a lighter collection video, and also I'll do a lantern and lamp collection video, which would be pretty cool. I like lanterns and lamps. Candles, I make a couple of candles every now and then, and beeswax candles. I prefer beeswax, but anytime I get my hands on some cheap wax, I'll buy it, because you never know, situational. Anyways, so all that said about Zippo lighters can be applied, basically, to Zippo hand warmers. If you take and buy these from the factory, I don't know if you can see the little nibs on the top. Focus. There's a little nib here. Look at the very tip of the key. A little nib here. There's a little nib here. There's a little nib here and a little nib here. This used to be a bar that went from here to here, and another little metal bar that went from here to here. And under that was the same. This is the felt pad that's up under the thing. You're supposed to lift this to fill your Zippo lighter. This, if I'm not mistaken, there was another one, shorter and smaller. It was inside of here. Something like that. I may be mistaken. It might not be like that. Either way, it was a bar here and a bar here, preventing you from accessing any of the material inside of it. I don't quite remember where I got the springs. I want to say they came out of these, but I think I may have gotten them somewhere else. And I just used the springs as a distance keeper to keep the material packed somewhat down, so that way it doesn't get too close to the catalyst and begin combustion of the cotton inside. You wouldn't want that, because then it would be on fire and not catalyzing. Because then it would be on fire and not catalyzing the vapors from the fuel. And you don't want it actually flaming in your pocket. So I stuff the spring down in there sideways. Give it a little distance. Give it a little air gap for it to vaporize as well. And if you overfill it, you can dump out what's left, and the fresh liquid will never actually touch the catalyst. It gives it some distance, just as a precautionary. You could do the same thing just by packing it down further. We're not packing it quite as full with cotton. But so the same thing. If you got some pliers or a way to get these little tabs off of here that were on here, get them off of there and then reach down in there with some hemostats. It's the best tool I found. Really, get you some little bitty tweezers or some long tweezers. They're gonna have to be long to reach all the way down to the bottom and in the corner of these. But what's down in there will be like cotton balls that are just completely lumped together. They're way too tight to actually hold fluid and be saturated. To become saturated, they're too tight to become saturated. They're wound way too tight. So what you can do is chop the little bars off, reach down in there with some hemostats, and pull out all that cotton. And you can take and unroll the cotton balls that are in here as best you can, and layer it. Take your hemostats and poke it down in there and layer it in layers as best you can, all the way to the top until it's full again, and then it will hold more. Doing that will give you about 24 hours of runtime. Not even kidding, it will completely double your runtime. When you first get this and fill it, it might only hold one of the fill bottles, and it'll be full. It'll be pretty full. When you repack it, it will hold 2. There's also a little surprise in here. When you get all the way to the bottom, and get all the cotton out, you'll notice some of the cotton stuck to the walls. The walls of this are lined with plastic, and sometimes you can even see, like along here, some of the plastics come out. So this is like a capsule, and this is just a cap. It only probably slides down in here a little ways. It might be the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure these are 2 separate pieces. The silver part and the black part are 2 separate pieces. And what they have decided to use as a gasket or a, yeah, you can see some of the plastic coming off there. But what they tried to use as a gasket is like a little plastic bag that they have lined this with. It's lined with a plastic bag. Did the plastic bag keep it from leaking if you overfill it? No. No, it won't. It won't really keep it from leaking to begin with. So you can either take it out or leave it in there. That's up to you. Either way, you probably won't get it all out because they said they tried to use it like a gasket or something. I chose to pull mine out, and it'll leak if you overfill it. It doesn't matter really. I mean, it's working just fine, you know. As long as you don't overfill it, it won't leak, which means just don't put it past what it can hold. If it can't hold anymore, then you get the idea. Get you some light and bright embers. If you don't want to stink, pay for it. If you want cheap fill-ups, this is the first one I bought. I have another. I use this. These, use them, fill them all up, man, and I'm still only like halfway through. This bottle right here, this gallon jug, lasts a long time for $20. So let's get into options. Some of your hand warming options. Yeah, another con, like I said, this stuff situationally may not last forever, so, but it does last a good long while. And these things get so daggone hot they will burn you. These are the hottest option. They're not instant heat, but they are the warmest heat, the driest heat, aside from a daggone campfire. They're also the smelliest heat, and arguably the most dangerous and toxic form of heat. But did you know Vaseline is a petroleum product? That's why it feels hot when you get it on your skin. You know that hot feeling when you touch oil? It's like weird. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a warm feeling you get when you touch oils on your. It's like a warm sensation almost. It's strange. It's not like when you touch warm water. It's definitely different. But Vaseline gives me that feeling too. Anyways, so I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, sometimes you do what you gotta do. It's just part of the game. Sometimes you gotta use petroleum products, man. They last so long. Like I said, once you refill them, they're 24 hours. These will last 2 days. I'll get to them in a minute. This will last 12 hours. Probably even longer. I think I had them last like 30 hours or something. Yeah. So, or yeah, not 30 hours. This one maybe 30 hours, but this one, yeah, like a whole day probably. 24 hours, something like that, maybe. It greatly extends it repacking it with cotton bacon. I'm not sponsored by any of this here, so any of y'all want to throw me a bone? I would love it. Yeah, any manufacturers want to throw me a bone? Go right ahead. But before we get into options, I would like to thank Josh Luck and the Family Tree. He's one of my favorite bands. I met him this year. I met Josh Luck this year through a YouTube live stream. I think it was Jumper by 3 Eyes Blind. I requested, and he jukeboxed it for me, man, on the fly too, acoustic version. And he kept doing it, man. Like, it just was endless. He can do just about any song that you can think of. He will acoustify it. He is so cool, man. Real chill dude. Yeah, man. I was trying to get his name out there and stuff. And, well, what a bunch of hours I put into that. Arguably, he's put in way more hours than I have on it. So, for him to allow me to use his music in my videos coming up is a greater gift than I think he even realizes. I mean, it's just amazing. Thank you so much, Josh. That just means the world to me. I know what it is. Well, I think I know what it might be kind of like to work that long on some of them songs, man. I mean, you have originals that are just mind-blowing. They really should be. Radio, they should have more radio attention than they do. I hope you make it big one day, man. But, yeah, if you haven't checked them out, Josh Luck, you gotta check his channel out, man. And, let's see, another thing, Josh, let's see here, I'll show you right here on my phone. Being a creator, I got so many subscriptions. I've been deleting them myself too, but when I'm sticking around was Josh Luck, man. And I thought maybe, possibly, just because he's played the song that I swore that I was feeling at the time, maybe like some sort of infatuation, not like no gay crap, but yeah. So I thought maybe I just liked his songs because I was all excited about it, you know. But no, I quit, laid down the music for a little while and was interested in other things this year and picked it up just recently. Yeah, it's really good, honestly goodness, he has some good music. But okay, so here we go. We're on the official. So first things first. I mean, it looks good, you know. Whatever you want to put on the homepage, and most people probably won't scroll down this far, you know. To be honest with you, before, see what I do personally is when I click on the homepage of anybody, I go right here, boom, straight to videos. That's exactly where I go. And then when you come down here and you scroll, you really don't find all your videos. You know, so then I know some people they like to have playlists, right? And obviously you got pretty good shorts too, but and the live feeds, obviously, man, some of them's the best. I'll never forget. I'll envy this night forever. A little bit berries, man. A little bit berries. But anyways, let's see. So yeah, we come all the way over to releases, which is like, you know, most people won't even go that far. To be honest with you, like some of your really good stuff is over here. It's like when people only give it a couple of seconds, you know, they come to your home, they click on your thing, come to the home screen, they might subscribe and hit the bell. See, notifications all. That's what you want to do. Hit that bell so you get all the notifications. Anyways, they only give it a couple seconds, man. You know, then they'll go to the videos and give it a scroll. And they're hoping this is where all your content is. Honestly, I hope this is where all my content is. But me, I like to make playlists personally. I mean, I know people usually don't go to those either, but mine are trying to go together. Anyways, if you could just move some of these over to your move them over to the video section somehow, to where they'll pop up here. They don't pop up here, man. This not every song is on here on your videos tab. So here's the channel. Come check him out, man. It's awesome. I'm gonna give his link in the description, and for further release videos, I will make sure to post the link directly to the video of the song material used in the description. And I'm gonna try to annotate it and put a little pop up when I play the song, so that way you'll know what song it is. And hopefully you'll let me know if I'm not allowed to use the song because I know sometimes being in a band is like, well, you might have one person that ain't there no more, and then well, maybe they have rights that I didn't know about. You know, if there's any type of confusion or like obviously I know certain songs to stay away from because of certain copyright material, but yeah, just let me know, man. Hopefully, let's try to get a collaborated playlist together, and then I can start using some of your material and promoting it. That'd be cool, man. That would definitely narrow things down for me as far as what type of material I'm 100% allowed to use. But as far as I know, all your original content is completely original to you, so that's what I'm gonna go with. And your content is awesome, man. That is some great music. It really deserves way more attention than it gets. Yeah, for sure. And you're a great artist too, man. To be able to crap out just about any daggone song on the fly, out of thin air, on acoustic, and then on top of that, be like singing too. Like I tried humming along with my playing, but it's difficult to do, man. It's not easy. So if you haven't checked him out yet, go check out Josh Gluck. He got some awesome music. Definitely deserves way more recognition than he gets. And I'm so grateful. I'm allowed that you allowed me to use your material. Really, you didn't have to do that, man. That means a lot. Yeah, that really means a lot, man. You didn't have to do that. You worked real hard to get that out there, you know. And then even harder to put a band together to get it. Yeah, that's a lot to deal with, man. And then editing videos and get the sound just right and all the equipment, all the time spent practicing, and then just allow me to use it just like that. That is a blessing. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. I hope it works, man. I hope we both. Yeah. Hope we both make it big. But yeah. Enough of that. Back on to options. So obviously, you got the normal flat black style Zippo. These are pretty good, man. They're pretty flat. They're kind of stackable. They're about as flat as the liquid hand warmers, liquid reusables. These are a nice size and shape, man. They do fit in the pocket real sweet. I wish they were like concave and shaped to your thigh. You know, like instead of being bubbled on both directions, be one side concave and the other side convex. Kind of like a lens. That'd be nice, but this works fine too. It's not that thick, man. I mean, it's in your pocket, like about like a phone in your pocket. So it's kind of in the way a little. It's not too bad though. I would definitely go hiking with these in my pocket, especially because they're more durable phone. If you had a key beating up against this, you know, you could drop this. I'm pretty sure these come with a lifetime warranty too. If you ever beat it or break it, no, replace it or fix it. The same Zippo warranty. The same Zippo warranty. As with all the lighters, I'm pretty sure. But the thing about this is the bottom. So look at this bottom. The bottom of this is it's not exactly flat. See, here's the letters. See, it's upside down. This is the bottom. If you look at it, it's not flat. It's like rounded this way. And if you look at it like this, it's flat. It's flattened on only just you can see where the line is flattened. So, but it's rounded this way, so it rocks still. And when you're lighting this, it's difficult to get it to stand up. You know, well, it's not difficult. It's just not very safe. You know, one little bump and it's knocked over. So getting it to light is a little more difficult than some of the other options I'm going to show you here. Yes, these are my favorites by far. They're Zippo branded, but these are the smallest ones Zippo options. The smallest ones that Zippo offers. So you can see the size difference here. This one's actually lit right now too. Anyways, here's the size difference. It's a little bit thicker and a little bit shorter and a little bit more narrow. So, and that's about lined up. Man, honestly, yeah, there's your size difference. So this fits in the pocket so much better. Way better than the other. It may be a little thicker, but it's so much smaller, it really doesn't matter. And 6 hours from the factory is not really quite long enough. But like I said, once you repack it with cotton bacon, it becomes a powerhouse of heat, man. And then you repack it with premium platinum bright embers, and it's just a powerhouse, man. Especially when you get the chrome one. So you get the smaller one, you have less surface area for heat. So what I wanted was even hotter ones. So I went with the chrome on this, and it's turned out to be true. Now, unfortunate thing is, the small ones and the large ones cost the same. They cost the same, which is unfortunate. But to me, it doesn't matter. If I could go back, I wouldn't buy these larger ones. I would have bought 4 of these ones instead of 2 black ones and 2 smaller chrome ones. I would have bought all 4 smaller chrome ones. But that's just me personally, because of size, the size of it more or less. So think about this, right? If I were to see, look, it's already perfect size and form factor. It's basically the same thing. So if I took the wick out and drilled a hole out in top of that, and then stuffed this chamber with platinum bright embers, right? Take this wheel out maybe even, or just never strike it, and then drill some holes in top of this, right, in top of the cap, and then I could take it and fill it from the bottom and get it lit, and then close the cap. And now I'm going to do this one day, and now I'm going to have an even smaller Zippo hand warmer. That will actually be a Zippo lighter, repurposed as a Zippo hand warmer. So what do you think fits in your pocket better? You know, this would fit in a pocket watch pocket and be warm, nice and toasty, man. So size is a factor for me. Duration is a factor for me as well, which is initially why I went with the larger. But turning out how long you can get out of them after you repack them has changed my mind completely. 100%. I would go with the smaller ones, and chrome as well. But so they're the same price. If I remember right, I paid $20 for them. So 2, 4, 6, and 8. So with all 4 of these, I can ride a motorcycle in down to 30-degree weather, 80 miles an hour, and it will keep you warm enough to ride 30 minutes, something like that. I'll say this: the faster you go, the more oxygen permeates your clothing, which gets to the platinum catalyst and makes it even hotter. The faster you go on a motorcycle, the hotter these get. So they actually work really well for motorcycle rides. You can ride really cold nights if you've got pockets full of these things, and you'll be cold, but you won't be frozen. It makes it just tolerable. I mean, it gets old fast, but it is completely doable. And with these 4 in my pockets and my winter shell on, I can stand still in 14-degree weather and be warm and dry. I can literally stand still in 14-degree weather and be warm and dry. I'll show you my winter get up here in a little bit and exactly how I've got it set up to do that. If I'm not mistaken, I was out there in 0-degree weather even and moving around and was still hot. Like started to break a sweat with these on. If my memory serves me correct. But also to do that motorcycle ride, these gloves right here, these gauntlet style gloves that I got from Walmart. These are some cool gloves, man. Let's see. It's like I got leaves in them or something. Anyway. So these gauntlet style gloves. Really can't get you a better picture. Anyway, they cinch up right here. Right? Okay. What is this? Oh, that's just a hanger spot. And then, maybe this is just cooking together. I don't remember exactly. Either way, the main reason about these, you can obviously waterproof this material. I don't think they come waterproof, but both of these gloves have a small little pocket on top of the hand. Okay? And so, my thought was, I'm riding a motorcycle. I've got gauntlet style gloves, which sheds the wind over top of my, over top of my jacket sleeve, which will keep it from riding back in the wind. You know what I'm talking about? Your sleeves ride up in the wind on a motorcycle, or they can. But anyway, take one of these suckers right here, and it's just small enough to fit in here. Look at this, right? So then you can zip them up, and now you got the backs of your hands warm on the motorcycle. See? Zip them up, you know. But remember, get on in there. Remember now. Remember, these have to stay upright, so it works. I've had them go out on me because it would cold shock them at a certain temperature. Yeah, it definitely helps though. Better than nothing. So that's how you get a warm glove. Memory serves me correct, these were $25 or something for the pair. Definitely worth it. The warmest gloves I have ever owned. So, if I were wearing all of that I wore on a motorcycle, I'd probably go down 0 degrees. You know, just standing there, which was my intent for the valet service job. Was to be able to stand outside, no matter what temperature, and be comfortable, just standing there. And these will do it. 100% it will do it. If you put more in, you just get even warmer. The more you put in your pockets, the more of this you're going to use every day, and the more it's going to start to choke you out, because you're going to smell it. If you got 10 of these in your pocket, you're going to smell them. It's going to choke you. The odor's going to be pretty off-putting. So, this is my favorite option, just based on size and form. Second favorite option would be this size and shape. I prefer this size and shape. Like I said, I wish it were the shape of your thigh, but either way. Nextly, the monsters. You go on the jungle site and look up Zippo hand warmers or refillable hand warmers or whatever you want to look up. These were $20 for a pack of 4. And I've done the same thing with these. These came with something in them. I don't think it were actually a catalyst. I think it burned up and it smelled and stunk. I don't know, man. There was something else in here in the catalyst portion of it, but it also had this little screen containing the catalyst that came with it. And I kept the screen, got all the crappy catalyst out of it, and put on in there my platinum bright embers and stuffed the screen full, like a little banana boat inside of there. And also, you can see how it's dark and yellowed. It's worse because it's so much heat. It's almost catching things on fire. So this one, $20 for 4 from the jungle site. And once you repack them, you can fill these up with 4 fillings, which means they last the longest. These also get the hottest, and they're from China. So these ones will absolutely burn you. Without a doubt, if I had 4 of these together, I could probably heat coffee up, man. Like honestly, I probably might be able to set something on top of this and possibly cook with them. They get that hot. They are seriously scorching. These are scorchers. They will burn you, without a doubt. Like, and you don't even want to touch them to get them out of your pocket. They start getting so hot. It's like inside of the little pouches they come with. I've had it inside of 2 pouches wrapped in 2 socks, and they still burn me. Like these ones are hot. They are ridiculous, man. I mean, really, seriously, ridiculous. These get so hot, man. Glowing hot. Like the outside, this portion right here, it won't be glowing, but the catalyst inside will be red hot. I am so serious. It gets so daggone hot. These ones right here, yeah. Be careful who you give these to once you hot rod them. Now these, if I remember right, these ones won't leak on me. But I don't. It's been so long since I'm not even sure I've repacked these. Because to repack these with pipe bacon, I may repack 1 or 2. I don't remember. I might repack them all, but it gets pretty expensive trying to pack these or any of these hand warmers for that matter with pipe bacon. It gets pretty pricey. Which even still, it's not the end of the world. Even if they're like 7 or 8, maybe it's $10. I think you get probably two of these done for $10 worth of cotton bacon. So they're $20. Yeah, it would be kind of pricey if you have a whole set of hand warmers to replace all the cotton in with cotton bacon. But then again, you wouldn't have to do it again. So how pricey is it really? You know, and how long would cotton last? You know what I mean? So how pricey is it really when it's totally an upgrade? It's completely an upgrade. Yep. So further options. I got all different kinds of shapes and colors. And, you know what I mean? I bought this one for Mrs. Redskin. I even bought my mom one with a peacock on it because she loves peacocks, man. That's her animal, I reckon. But the chrome ones, go with the chrome ones. And if I'm not mistaken, that peacock one that I got for her was, you know, that rainbow iridescent kind of chrome. It's pretty cool, man. But anyways, I also got her a Zippo lighter with a peacock on it. That was cool. I have to show you that if I can ever get it out. But let's see. I also got my dad a Harley Davidson one before he passed away, and I gave it away to somebody who was working in the freezer. I told him give it a try, but the time I actually gave it to him, he wasn't working in the freezer no more. So, but whatever, he was a good friend of Dad's, which is why I gave it to him. Really. So yeah. Yeah, man. This isn't. I'll say this because they will be hot. Now there's another option too that I've seen. If you've ever seen a kerosene heater igniter, they make an option with a button. It's got a rechargeable battery in it, and it comes with a button that pushes an igniter through the catalyst and ignites, starts the process that way. That's pretty cool because then you don't got to get a lighter out and light them up. But either way, I'd rather not heat up a battery, you know. So that's just a personal preference. If you feel safe with it, go ahead. Now, furthermore, if you don't know how platinum catalysts work, look it up. Go to Technology Connections website. YouTube channel. He's got some really cool information on it. And this is basically the same thing as a catalytic converter, more or less. And apparently you can do the same thing with hot copper and acetone. But that's where you go and rabbit hole all you want to. This is just my insight on hand warmers. And I hope it helps. It helps you make a decision, because you can tell I went down a rabbit hole, man. I went and got a whole bunch of stuff to get ready for riding a motorcycle in the cold. Let's check out these liquid ones again. See here. Yeah, it's still pretty warm. Now you can see here. This is basically gel back up. This is liquid inside. So you can see the liquid moving. See that there? But then you can also see like crystals already formed. You can see it through the eye. There's like a gel crystal in there. A gel crystal substance. Like, it's not all liquid is what I mean. Like, some of it never really solidified. I mean, liquidized. Yeah, you can see that in there kind of. But you mash it up in it. I mean, it's ready to go. It's fine. It will still heat up. You click that clicker, it'll probably heat right back up. But definitely strange when these get a little old. But so you can put this in your pocket or in your pack, and it's warm now. You can go ahead and use it as a hand warmer. And it'll last until it just gets cold, but it will still be a gel. And then you click that thing, and it will get hot again. So that's the nice thing about these, is they're relatively non-toxic. Look, this one's trying to stay like a liquid. Anyway, you put these in your pocket or in your sack, and walk around with them until they get cool. And then when you're ready for them to warm your hands up, click that little clicker, and you'll be ready to go. Instant heat. It's nice, man. I hope this helps you. I'm trying to gather up some clothes, and I'll see about showing you guys how I would dress to be able to do such things. Like ride a motorcycle in 14-degree weather or whatever, 30-degree or whatever it was. It was cold, man. It was cold. Yeah, I'll try and get together some of the things that I was using. I'll show you exactly how I would dress to be able to do such temperatures. Let me put this away, and I'll go get out some stuff and show you what's up. Okay, so you can see this here. So to start off, obviously, get my size 11s, 11.5 really. Get my half size up so you can wear an extra pair of socks. But anyways, put on 2 pairs of socks, put your boots on. Then, you want to find you some of these thin, almost fishnet-like long johns, slide them on. And over top of that, you want to go get your thermal type of long johns. So the little checker pattern ones, not colored, the stitch pattern. The little checker pattern, stitch colored ones. Then, you're going to get whatever type of pants will just fit over that. Maybe even another pair of pants. Okay? Then you want to put on a white beater, and then a shirt. Or a white beater and then a thermal. And then over top of that, another shirt. Okay? Now here's the trick. Here's the secret. Here's the tip right here. This pair of overalls. Slide on. They zip up from the side. Not sponsored. Let's see. Here we go. B-E-R-N-E. Burned. Yep, B-E-R-N-E. I've had this pair for a long time. This pair has an inside pocket, 2 inside pockets on one side, but nevertheless, it is 2 pockets. 2 inside pockets. There's a button right here so you can reach inside and reach inside your pant pockets. So you just reach in, get something that's inside your pant pockets. They also have deep pockets on them. This also has several little tool and pen pockets on the side. So there's that one, and then these 2, like for a knife or whatever you want to put in here. The other side has a tool loop and another Velcro pocket. Okay? So they're loading out the pockets. And on the back, they give you a zipper back pocket. Okay? On one side. The other side is just a traditional big pocket. So that's the back side. Just take this, put it over all top of them clothes. Right? Then, well, maybe put a sweater over all top of them clothes. And then put the overalls over top of all that. And then, you get you another sweater, put it over top of the overalls. Okay? Then you want to get you a zip-up jacket of some sort. Get you a zip-up jacket of some sort. Put it over top of that sweater. Right? Then, lastly I'll have probably this jacket or leather, or something along these lines. And this is a snowboarder's jacket, so this one is called Zero Exposure. Zero Exposure. And I got this a long time ago. It has zip-up pockets. Let's get something you can waterproof. It's got zip-up and a button. And yep, it does have several pockets. Inside pockets. Yep, got inside pockets. A old school 2000 cell phone pocket. Get you something nice and poofy. You want a poof jacket? Yeah. Put that over top. It used to be good gun. But where the hand warmer go? You can either, depending on how warm you want, you can put them in your original pockets, or you can put them in the pockets of the overalls. However, this overalls has also 2 pockets on the breastplate. One here, one here. They're up here on me, right here on my chest. Right here on my chest. So then, you got one here, one here. You put one in here in this chest pocket, one in here in this chest pocket. Okay? And then, you got a sweater and a zip-up jacket over top of that. And then this over top of that to create your shell. Literally a protective layer. If it's leather, even better. Air can't get through it. Air can't get through the leather. So, it'll be even more of a shell. With these sitting here warming up your core, and the others down here at your thighs, where that main vein goes, it warms your legs up. It warms the blood up going to your legs, so then your legs warm up. As a result, you stick them close, that'll help get you a little warmer. I'm pretty sure that vein rides on the inside of your thigh there. And down here, so the blood coming gets warmed up as it goes to the rest of your extremities. And then, if you want, you can put 2 more in the back pockets. And then you got other pockets, you know, stuff them anywhere you can. And then, with all that said, just a pair of these cheap thin work gloves, one that's real good and tight to your hands, like a glove, you know. Put on some of them thin work gloves, and then put these on. Now, dexterity is not the greatest. You got one pair of gloves inside of another pair of gloves. And then you go putting that hand warmer up in here. It's pretty tight little fit. But doing all that, I'm telling you, 80 miles an hour for about 30 minutes. Ride. Motorcycle, when you're wet in the freezing cold. You're good to go. You got all the things in your pockets. And the faster you go, the warmer they get. So, it's no big deal, man. It's awesome. Insane. Only thing lacking would be an electronic seat, heated seat, and heated handlebar grips. Yeah. And a heated helmet. That'd be nice. But yeah, that'd be basically my get up. And I'd be riding down the road, man, middle of the winter. It'd be cold, 80 miles an hour. Somebody do math on that. 80 miles an hour wind, maybe 30 degrees outside. That's cold. What's the real feel on that? You know, and I'd be fine for about 30 minutes. And then I really start getting cold. So, just think about it, man. I hope it's helped y'all stay warm this winter. Be looking out for my Redskin Wooden Barrage episodes coming up. The music. And, yeah, it's that time of year. We're getting out lanterns, lamps, candles, and lights here in a little while. All my flashlights and radios, weather radios, Zippo lighters. It's that time of year, man. I love this time of year because all that stuff gets come out at least a little bit. Because you never know if power goes out, what you'll be left with. Or how long it'll be out, man. So, yeah, man. I appreciate y'all sticking around this long. So, if you're new here, give me a like and subscribe. Hit that bell, man. It's the only way it's going to actually tell you when the video pops up. So, yeah, buddy. You'll actually pop it up on your phone. A notification. You'll be notified if you hit the bell. Ding dong. Guys, stay warm. I'm going to send this, or well, tag everybody who I think could benefit. Since y'all been helping me get through the year, help y'all get through the last tail end of it. You're real cold real soon. I love y'all. Appreciate all y'all done for me. All great content. Keep my little brain occupied. Thanks you guys, man. Thank you. 2025. One crazy year.